On the news tonight, Governor Ademola Adeleke signs 2026 Appropriation Bill of 723.4 billion naira into law. Anthony Joshua involved in road accident in Makun area of Osun State, leaving 2 foreign nationals dead. Gunmen launched deadly attack on Gebe community in Kebbi State. On the foreign scene, China opposes attempt to split territories in Somalia. Good evening, this is News at 7 on Western Spring Television. My name is Opoyemuni. Governor Ademola Adeleke has signed the 2026 Appropriation Bill of 723.4 billion naira into law with a vow to ensure full implementation and with highlights of deliveries of the last 3 years' budgets. According to a statement by a spokesperson to the governor, Olaude Rashid, Adeleke signed the 2026 Appropriation Bill to consolidate and expand governance and service deliveries in line with the 5-point agenda of his administration. Speaking after the signing ceremony, the governor said the occasion launched into the final year of his first term with expanded ambitions to complete ongoing projects and launch new initiatives for the good of the people. Speaking on the importance of the 2026 budget, the governor said his team has resolved to consolidate achievements across the sectors, tackling the year 2026, a dry year of renewal of mandate and rolling out of a new agenda for the next 4 years. While he vowed the full implementation of the new Appropriation Act, Governor Adeleke also charged each ministry and agency to follow the established timelines for the budget execution. It will be recalled that the governor presented a total of 706 billion naira as a proposed budget for the 2026 fiscal year to the State Assembly before it was later jacked up to 723.4 billion naira during its passage into law. In Gombe State, Governor Inuwa Yahaya on Monday signed the 617.95 billion naira 2026 Appropriation Bill into law. The signing ceremony took place at the Council Chamber of the Government House, Gombe, following the formal presentation of the Appropriation Bill by members of the Gombe State House of Assembly, led by Speaker Abubakar Lugerewo. The 2026 budget allocates 189 billion naira for recurrent expenditure, representing 21.6% of the total, while 428.5 billion naira is devoted to capital projects, reinforcing the administration's focus on infrastructure, service delivery, and long-term growth. Yahaya initially presented a 535.69 billion naira proposal, which was reviewed by the Assembly and adjusted upward by over 82 billion naira to arrive at the approved 617.95 billion naira. A notable feature of the budget is the allocation of 12 billion naira for a regional security fund, equating to 1 billion naira monthly, in line with resolutions of the Northern States Governors Forum. Speaking at the signing, Yahaya reaffirmed his administration's commitment to security, completion of ongoing legacy projects, and people-focused development across both urban and rural areas. Internationally acclaimed boxing champion Anthony Joshua was involved in a road accident in the Makun area of Osun State on Monday. The incident, which happened around 11 a.m. on Monday along the heavily trafficked Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, led to the death of 2 persons. Reports indicate that an SUV transporting Joshua collided with a stationary truck. However, the exact circumstances of the crash are still under investigation, with officials working to determine what led to the incident. A video of the incident shows the 35-year-old former heavyweight champion being rescued from the wrecked vehicle, appearing to have suffered injuries. The Federal Road Safety Corps confirmed the incident in an official statement signed by Assistant Corps Marshal and Corps Public Education Officer Olusegun Ogungbemide. According to the FRSC, preliminary findings indicate that the Lexus Jeep, which was suspected to be traveling beyond the legally prescribed speed limit on the corridor, lost control, during an overtaking maneuver and crashed into a stationary truck well parked by the side of the road. Meanwhile, the Osun State government has expressed condolences to the families, friends, and associates of the victims of a tragic road accident involving world heavyweight boxing champion Anthony Joshua, who narrowly escaped death on Monday. In a statement by the special advisor to the governor on information and strategy, Kayode Akinlade, the state government described the incident as painful and deeply unfortunate. The fatal accident occurred along the busy Lagos-Ibadan Expressway within the Makun axis of Osun State and sadly claimed the lives of 2 persons. Anthony Joshua and 3 other individuals were reportedly traveling from Lagos to Shagamu at the time of the incident. Preliminary reports indicate that 2 male foreign nationals died on the spot. Their remains have since been deposited at the Liver Morgue in Shagamu. Anthony Joshua and the driver of a vehicle were promptly rescued by security personnel attached to his convoy and taken to a hospital where they were receiving medical attention. And out of politics, Kano politics has been thrown into fresh tension following reports of a planned defection by the Kano State Governor, Abba Yusuf, from the new Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, to the All Progressives Congress, APC, are most strongly opposed by the party's leadership and its national leader, Senator Rabiu Kwakwanso. The development has sparked internal disagreement within the NNPP, particularly between supporters of the governor and loyalists of the Kwankwansia movement founded by Kwakwanso. In a press statement issued on behalf of the NNPP in Kano State and at the national level of the party, said it was fully aware of the unfolding political situation and does not support any defection to the APC. Jungurawa disclosed that the party made several efforts to persuade those involved to remain patient and stay within the NNPP in the interest of the people of Kano State. It further appealed to the governor and the others allegedly planning to defect to reconsider their decision. The NNPP chairman also dismissed claims that some party officials were plotting to pitch the governor against Senator Kwakwanso. The Federal Capital Territory Minister, Nyesom Wike, has denied promising to deliver the major opposition party, PDP, into the hands of President Bola Tinubu as preparations are ongoing for the upcoming general elections in 2027. Wike clarified during a media chat at his office in Port Harcourt, the Rivers State capital, on Monday, following an allegation by the governor of Oyo State that the FCT minister was behind the current crisis, bedeviling the PDP and the wave of defections by PDP governors, lawmakers, and others to the All Progressives Congress, APC. Makinde had said he regretted supporting Tinubu at the 2023 presidential election, adding that the decision did not produce the outcome he had hoped for. Highlighting the issues behind his disagreement with Wike, Makinde said it began after Wike told Tinubu during the meeting that he would hold PDP for the president ahead of the 2027 election. Makinde said he later raised the issue with mutual friend, hoping Wike would reconsider his stance. However, while responding to the allegations by Makinde, Wike denied making such a promise to Tinubu, saying that the Oyo State governor was frustrated.
A blatant lie. And that's why, you see, Shema Gende has never called me wicked. Never. That's the first time I hear him say wicked. He has never called me wicked one day. It's unfortunate. First of all, you ask yourself, what was that meeting? What was the purpose of that meeting? That would have led me to say, Mr. President, I will hold PDP for you. Why did Shema Gende not come up all this while to tell the party, see what Wike is doing? I was in a meeting and see what Wike said. It's not correct. And let me put the record straight. There was no such meeting. Rather, my humble self, the former governor of Benue State, Atom, the former governor of Abia State, Ibazu, the former governor of Enugu State, Ugwaye, and Shema Gende, we went to see President.
That's the G5.
Yes, we went to see President to discuss, of course, elections were over, to discuss about certain things. While we were there, the Chief of Staff, of course, you should know that the Chief of Staff is always around the President. I was the one who said, look, Chief of Staff, come and show us, you can, remind the President of what we have discussed. There was nothing like a meeting. We booked to go and see Mr. President. So you could not, it is completely out of place for anybody to say that in that meeting, I said to Mr. President, I will hold PDP down for you. That's very unfair. Very, very unfair. Totally unfair. And you see, I have told everybody, frustration, if you can see it, to watch it on that media, you can see frustration. And this is a young man we have advised severally. Politics is not like being a contractor with Shell. Politics is not like being a contractor with a mobile. It has different rules.
In a year of dramatic realignments and profound upheaval, Nigeria's political landscape in 2025 was reshaped by a sweeping gale of defections that decimated the main opposition, internal party crises that turned allies into adversaries, and tragic violence sparked by local power struggles, all set against a backdrop of high-profile resignations, suspensions, and the passing of iconic national figures. Toby Sanusi details some of the defining political moments of the year.
The political scene in Nigeria witnessed major events that shaped the polity, beginning in Lagos State, where the Speaker, Mudashiru Obasa, was impeached over allegations bordering on high-handedness and corruption, a development that saw his deputy, Mojisola Miranda, elected as the first female Speaker, only to later resign for Mr. Obasa's reinstatement.
That I will be faithful as the Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly.
So as you can see me, I'm lively, I continue to enjoy myself, I'm not disturbed, I'm not perturbed, and I'm not worried.
Mrs. Miranda's resignation sparked emotional scenes at the Lagos State House of Assembly, where some lawmakers paid tribute to her leadership.
At this point, I take a bow as your Speaker, and I step down as your Speaker of this great House. Honorable Sheyi Lawa.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I think you've made history as the first Speaker of this Lagos State House of Assembly. First female Speaker of this Lagos State House of Assembly.
In February, local government crisis continued in Osun State as 5 people were reportedly killed and many others injured as power struggle over the control of local government secretariats between the All Progressives Congress (APC) and the People's Democratic Party (PDP) turned deadly, sparking panic and tension across the state. That lingering crisis soon snowballed into the eventual lockdown of all the local government secretariats after the Osun State Independent Electoral Commission, OSIEC, conducted local government election where the PDP had a clean sweep. In Rivers State, the political turmoil that has so far gripped the oil-rich state intensified as President Bola Tinubu suspended the governor, Siminalayi Fubara, and declared a state of emergency for 6 months, appointing Ibo Kete Ibas as sole administrator.
It has become inevitably compelling for me to invoke the provision of the Section 305 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, to declare a state of emergency in Rivers State with effect from today, 18th March, year 2025.
The state was further plunged into protracted political crisis following the supremacy battle between Governor Fubara and his godfather and Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, who is the leader of the political structure that produced him as governor. The governor, however, returned from the suspension, announcing his defection from the PDP to the APC alongside 17 state lawmakers.
In the year they talk, we dey support Tinubu, we know they follow corner. Let it be very clear to everyone that the Renew Hope agenda is here with a vigor than you can imagine. We're out, we're ready to drive it to every door in every local government area of Rivers State.
I don't know who supported to follow Konokara.
When he was referring to you, wouldn't that be a direct reference?
How could that be when the whole Nigeria knows that I'm one supporter of Tribu? What is Konokara? When I have stated openly, that is what I will do.
Defection became a recurring theme that swept through the PDP and some other opposition parties in 2025 as 8 governors, including Sheriff Ovoribori of Delta State, Umoheno of Akwa Ibom State, Enugu's Peter Mba Doyediri of Bayelsa State, Abu Kefas of Taraba State, Caleb Muftuang of Plateau State, and similarly Fubara of Rivers State, all defecting to the APC, except Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke, who pitched a tent with the Accord Party. The gale of defection now leaves the PDP with governors Sheyi Makinde of Oyo State, Bala Mohammed of Bauchi State, Dauda Lawal of Zamfara State, and Amadu Fintiri of Adamawa State, while the party's number of senators reduced to about 24, while APC's strength increased to about 77. As APC's control spread across state, coalition plot formed under the African Democratic Congress (ADC) to unseat President Tinubu in the 2027 presidential election soon began as former ministers Rauf Aregbesola, Rotimi Amechi, and Nasir El-Rufai left the APC, while former Senate President David Mark and former Vice President Atiku Abubakar also left the PDP. Their defections from the PDP were linked to the ongoing leadership crisis, which has given rise to the Wike-led faction and the Makinde-led faction, both of whom have produced chairmen and secretaries. The crisis now pits the 2 former allies, Mr. Wike and Governor Makinde, against each other as the Oyo State Governor withdraws his support for President Tinubu, making a bold statement about his qualification to contest the presidency.
And that is why I will not be supporting the president for 2027. Wike can support him, he's within his right, but also it is within my own right to decide within the political space who I will support or what I will do to serve this country at the highest level. I am qualified. I'm even overqualified.
Earlier, Speaker of the Osun State House of Assembly, Adewale Egbedun, warned Governor Sheyi Makinde against using Osun State as a tool to promote his presidential ambition after a factional PDP primary election was held in the state.
If Governor Sheyi Makinde is desperate to become president come 2027, he should use another state as a tool, not Osun State.
Away from the defection row, another major political development in 2025 was the November 8 Anambra State governorship election, the first major election conducted by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, under its new chairman, Joash Amukpiton, where the incumbent governor, Chukwuma Soludo of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA, was re-elected. At the National Assembly, a major political event that rocked the nation's parliament was the suspension of the Kogi Central Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan for 6 months over alleged misconduct after the senator accused Senate President Godswill Akpabio of sexual harassment. The year also witnessed the resignations of Defense Minister Badaru Abubakar on health grounds, Uche Naji, the Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, over alleged certificate forgery, while Nentawe Yotwada, the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, resigned from President Tinubu's cabinet to chair the APC. Sadly, 2025 saw Nigeria lose prominent figures like former President Muhammadu Buhari, former presidential spokesman Doyin Okupe, foremost nationalist and leader of the Pan-Yoruba socio-cultural group Afenifere, Chief Ayo Adebanjo, prominent Ijaw leader Edwin Clark, and Deputy Governor of Bayelsa State, Lawrence Erujapo. Others include former Osun APC chairman and the 30th Owa of Igbajo, Oba Adegboyega Famudun, Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of Council of Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, Professor Shinyo Oyeweso, among others. Similarly, Lagos' political landscape witnessed tragic death as 5 female local council officials, including 3 councillors, died within 3 months of their inauguration. As Nigeria moves into 2026, more political developments that will shape the polity are expected, while the outcomes of 2 governorship elections in Osun and Ekiti State will define the political landscape in those states. Toby Sanusi, Western Spring Television News.
Talking security, gunmen on Monday launched a deadly attack on the Gebe community in Shanga local government area of Kebbi State, leaving several residents feared killed and many others injured as survivors fled in panic to neighboring villages and nearby bushes. According to reports, the attacker stormed the community without warning, firing sporadically and causing widespread fear and confusion. The assault, described as the worst in the area in many years, forced residents to abandon their homes in search of safety. The Kebbi State Police Public Relations Officer, SP Bashir Usman, said the attack occurred and that security operatives had been deployed to the area. He explained that police officers were assessing the situation to determine the number of lives lost and the extent of injuries sustained, adding that a detailed official statement will be released in due course. Still to come, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar thought National Assembly's move to regazette recently passed tax reform laws. We'll bring you more on this when we return.